I replaced 2 electrolytics in this radio, and the speaker bolts down to the chassis, through an insulated washer and a quarter nut, a screw with a nut, nut on it. The damn thing fell over and knocked a hole in the perfectly good speaker. And all I got is Elmer's glue. I don't have anything else. Story of my life. I had one hell of a time replacing the capacitors in this. I never learned. This is a big thing, and I should be able to work on it. But it fell over and hit the plastic box that I keep all my capacitors in here. And the corner of that plastic box just went right through the damn speaker. And it's in a place where I can't get at it. As part of the cone is missing right there. Story of my life. I don't know why it's got 2 output transformers, but it does. It has one here and there's one here. Very strange. I've never seen that. Now, I replaced an electrolytic here. I had to use my hook and pinch. Well, I wasn't able to pinch it because I don't have my camera set up yet, because I have to make a little bracket for it. So I haven't had a chance, so I'm still doing the magnifying glass, holding the damn magnifying glass, holding the soldering iron, holding the solder. I'm so damn frustrated, I'm telling you. So I had to hook and pinch because this negative lead here goes down way up underneath this cardboard thing. It's like a cardboard that holds the ferrite loop stick. And it goes way up under here, so I just clipped the lead and I hooked and pinched it and soldered it in. It's a 50 microfarad capacitor. Of course, it's a 47 that I put in there. So I replaced that, and I replaced this one over here, and there goes the speaker again. I don't want to disconnect this. They're too hard to get back in. I can cut them in probably... I have no idea why it's got that orange wire going to the frame instead of going to the output transformer secondary. I have no idea why. But as you can see, there's another output transformer sitting right here. It's a strange looking radio. I've never seen one like it. No adjustments for the IF can on the top, but on the bottom there is. This was made this way, very long transistor leads, and that's a good idea. That keeps the heat off the transistor. The leads are long like that. You see how long they make them? That's a very good idea, because soldering in transistors, you can destroy them with the heat. I guess they're germaniums, and my guess would be they're germaniums. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and one over here, 5. Apparently 5 transistors. Not very many pins on the tuning capacitor. I hope this is in focus. Again, I'm using the ZE1. I got 2 more here to replace. Each one takes me about a half an hour to do. Fumbling around, trying to clean the hole out. I use solder wick here. And then have to use the inspection to see if the hole's clear. And when it gets too hard, I just clip the lead short and just hook and pinch them. So I got this electrolytic to do these 2 here and one down here. That's going to be an SOB to get at. But each time I try it, each time I replace an electrolytic, it gets a little stronger, a little bit louder. Not much, just a little. And this was a 10 microfarad. And this read an ESR of 7.1. 10 microfarad, 10 volts. I got a 10 microfarad 35 volt in here because that's all I've got, but you can see how small it is. The original ones are over here. Well, here's one of them. Here's one of them here, and that's the one I think that was over here. This is a 50 microfarad at 10 volts. And this one here is a 47 microfarad at 35 volts, because that's all I had. So, I tried to keep the speaker on the chassis to protect it, and so I wouldn't have to disconnect these wires, and I'm going to try not to. I'm going to work on these too, and I'll do this hard one later. So I'm going to do these off camera. I just want to show you the radio. I'm definitely not going to make a video of me doing it. You do not want to have to listen to me in frustration trying to do this. Look how big that is. And as big as that is, I'm still having a tough time doing it. And I'll tell you, it's very hard for me to find out where these holes come out. It's so much easier with good old point-to-point vacuum tube stuff. It's so much easier. Printed circuit, as big as this is, I never can find where they come out. No matter how many times I flip the thing over and look, I never can get it. It's a lot of experimentation until I can find out where the actual lead goes. And I think it's mostly my eyesight. So until I can get this camera hooked up, I gotta make a bracket, and I gotta probably put it on here. That's the best I can do. Then I'll be able to work under better conditions. So I gotta replace these. From what I looked at, it looks like this is a 50 microfarad, so this is probably the same. So I gotta replace these two, and we'll continue. This is the case. Not all that much to it. And these little cardboard things here, no idea what they are, but they went to the radio, but what they were for, I don't know. As far as I know, this takes a 9-volt battery, because it's got the 9-volt connector, but there's a possibility it might take 4 AA's, and that would explain why the battery compartment is so much larger than necessary. There is nothing on this this paper here, was sitting on top of the chassis. There's no schematic, there's nothing. So I'm going to continue, and there's no more on this video unless I get these replaced. This is a good thing to be doing tonight on a stupid bowl night. Either work on this, or watch YouTube videos, or watch a movie, watch a DVD, or whatever. I couldn't care less about the stupid bowl. Okay, so that's what I want to give you an update. You can see there's a hole here and there's a hole here where you can adjust these, but I'm not touching that because I think the problem is electrolytics, and this may come back to life quite strong once I replaced all electrolytics. And the next thing, these carbon comp resistors here, I'll have to check those. There's only 2 capacitors that I checked, and they were, ESR was very, very high on them, which I expected. So, it's very mysterious. Why 2 output transformers? That is a mystery. And it looks original to me. Okay, we'll come back on this. If I get these caps changed out. It is 5:20 in the evening now. So we'll join you in a little bit here, so don't go away. Probably kick myself for doing this. I'm going to try to remove one of these caps, but I can't tell where on the board the connection is. made. I put a mini screwdriver underneath. I have to guess where it is. Fortunately, there's no transistors here. See, we got some solder on the tip here, so we get a good transfer here. And I got to be careful I don't put too much solder on there and bridge over the connections. I think this is it right in here. Well, it fell over on me. So hard. It's so difficult to work on these things. Okay, I got that cap up. Now I gotta inspect it and see if I can tell what the positive and the negative is. Alright, the positive goes towards the other output transformer here. Alright, we'll do one cap at a time and see if I can pull that out of there. It's... oh man. It looks like it comes halfway between the tuning condenser frame and the output transformer frame. It's about in that area. Well, let's heat this one up and see what this does. Nope, that ain't it. Must be down here. Boy, I'll tell you, these guys that work on these things, they go in, they pull a component out, bing, bing, they're right out. I can't find out where they're soldered to. This is what I'm saying about printed circuit work. I don't like solid state. It's too hard to work on. I got it. All right. But I can't. I gotta clean the hole out. My solder sucker don't work all that good. I need one of them motorized jobs. I don't know, did I get it? I'll turn the soldering iron off. I don't want my soldering station on too long. We test the hole with another component. Don't have to be this one I'm going to put in there. Where is it now? There it is. Alright, let's see. Okay. I did get the right one. Alright. There's another connection right next to it. The other capacitor's there. I gotta play back the video. Which end was the positive now? That's why I do one cap at a time. Did I say the cap went towards, the positive went towards the output transformer and the frame? That's a good question. I didn't take pictures. Alright, the other one is going to be right here. Alright. I'm going to have to play this video back. So I'm going to stop the video now. Because I got to know. And I got to also look for 47 microfarad again. I only found one in the box. Oh, I don't know if I got another one. I have them, but they're 350 volts. They're not going to fit in here. Let me stop the video. I gotta play the video back so I can find out where the positive end of this thing went to. Okay, I just played back that clip. Positives go this way, and this one here, I just inspected it, and the plus is also that way. So you may not be able to see that. Where is... I'll get my magnifier. I should have brought the other camera over. Okay. There's a hole just to the left of the capacitor. We're looking between the output transformer and the tuning capacitor frame, and you can see where the one electrolytic that is left. We've got another hole here which goes all the way through. I cleared the hole, and the negative goes over here, and I did not clear the hole. So before I do that, I'm going to clear the hole now, and then I got to find, I'm pretty sure this is a 47, a 50 actually. Let me look, hang on a minute. Yes, that's a 50 microfarad at 10 volts, just like the one I took out. So we're going to dig up two of those. Before I do, I want to clear this other hole out. It's going to be an SOB getting in and getting this one out. That one is electrolytic right down in here and near this transistor. And then I think that's it. As far as I know, I'm not sure what this is. I don't think that's an electrolytic. It might be a resistor or something, or a regular capacitor, because in this here, they're all using axle leads type of capacitors, and they're all laying down. I'll check that later. So let me clean this out. I'll get back to you on this. Okay, about a half hour later, it took me all that time to clear that hole out because I had to find it. I couldn't find it. The only way I could find it, I couldn't find it under the board. That to make myself clear here. What I have to do is to take another component, stick it in the hole where the capacitor come out, and hold it there, put some pressure on it, and keep going around with the soldering iron until it comes through. So that's the only way, because I used a total of about 2 inches of solder wick trying to get the hole to show up, and it wouldn't. This is why I love point-to-point wiring. As big as this thing is, it's too small. Alright, so now I haven't yet looked for 247 microfarad at a low voltage. And that's what I have to find here. What is disheartening, busting the speaker like that. The speaker was perfect. Like mint. I think the voice coil rubbed just a little bit though. So, I mean, it was cosmetically, it was really, really good. Alright. I've done this before, trying not to disconnect wires, and that was the whole idea. I disconnected the wire off the frame, the little orange wire here. I had to take that off, but I'm not going to remove the red and blue wire. With my luck, I won't be able to get them back in there. So, and I got to be careful of these battery wires too. If they come off, I won't know where they go. Alright, too bad there wasn't a schematic on this. There's not a very complicated radio as far as, it doesn't have that much to it, but it's just, some parts of it is very hard to get at. Okay, so I got to go through my capacitors here, and that's going to take me quite a while to see if I have two 47 microfarad capacitors. Okay, we're SOL, you know what that is. I do not have a 47 microfarad low voltage capacitor. I have 47 at 350 volts, 450 volts. So here's the options that I have. I have 100 microfarad at 16 volts. These caps here are 10 volts, rated at 10 volts. Okay. Or I have 68 microfarad at 50 volts. I thought it was 47. No, it's And then I have 50 microfarads, but these are way too big at 63 volts. So these are too big. These are the capacitors that I used in the Navy oscilloscope. I got a whole bunch of them on eBay when I was working on that scope. So I think the choice is going to be between 68 microfarads to replace a 50 microfarad. That's the value they had years ago. They didn't use 47, it was 50. Or 100 microfarad to replace the 50. The 100 is 16 volts and a lot smaller. So we have to make sure if I mount these, they're going to be standing up, and this is where the speaker goes. And the capacitor that I pulled out of here had a little dent in it, and I guess it's from the speaker frame, magnet frame pushing into it, or the output transformer, one or the other. So they have to lay down on the chassis, and these will stand up too high, but it'll be easier to mount them. Otherwise I got to stretch the leads and try to make them work. Can't put them here because the whole magnet structure, see the screw threads in here, goes through there, so the magnet sits here, and I take it the output transformer sits right over here. I'm pretty sure that's the way it was in there. Alright, so, or the output transformer went this way, I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention, like I usually don't pay attention. So, I don't think putting in a 47, putting in a 100 microfarad in place of a 47 is going to hurt it, give better filtering. But I'm going to end this video at this time because I want to get in the house and get this video that you've already seen, of course, uploaded. The one about the flea market, the winter flea market finds. So I'm going to get in the house and do that. Meanwhile, if any of you can chime in, I have no idea what circuit these are in. I'm not smart enough to reverse engineer this thing. It takes a genius, and I'm not, like I say, I'm the stupid one. I ain't the genius. So, anybody can tell me whether I can substitute 100 microfarad, which I'd rather use the 100, at 16 volts to replace the 50s at 10 volts. I know the 68 would probably be a better choice, but they're physically a little bit too large, because I may have to stand these up. But regardless, if you want to chime in, I'm all ears. Okay, that's the end of Call Us Part 1 of the $3 Flea Market Radio.